Hello, everyone. I'm that one nerd, Jacob.
And I'm that one Scout Collins.
And I am Izzy.
Yeah, there we go.
Hello, I am here today.
And welcome to episode 7 of Those Nerds on a Podcast.
Ooh,
Is
lucky number
anybody?
7.
I know. Is anyone else kind of surprised that this podcast lasted past 1 month?
I mean,
okay. In one aspect, I'm surprised because I'm like, oh my god, this is actually something we're staying committed to. But then in another aspect, I'm just like, it's me and Caleb. We can bullshit about anything as long as we want to. So it's not like we're ever gonna run out of things to talk about. And then especially with like the overflow of people that wanted to appear on the podcast, Izzy being one of them, you know.
I earned this. This is my rescheduling because someone didn't want to be there for one.
Listen, Caleb was just drunk.
that's not a good excuse.
You know what? It's fine. We recorded an episode that weekend already anyway, and then we had the live podcast the next week. This just made it to where it's easier for me to sift through it and upload things properly. So in a way, I'm not mad, you know? Like, I'm kind of glad it worked out like that.
As long as it works out in some way.
Exactly. That's all that matters. As long as it works out, it's fine. So, yeah, we might as well just start off by talking to our guest. Izzy, how are you today? How's your week been? How's life been in general?
Is she over there or over there?
The second finger you put up. Yes, yeah, and then she's up a little bit for you. So you got point. Yeah, there you go. How you doing, Izzy?
I'm good. I actually just woke up because I was almost the one that missed today because I didn't know we confirmed it. So I'm like.
Yeah,
awake.
To be fair, Caleb texted me after we had left the voice chat, because Charity was still in the voice chat. He's like, yeah, so when are we doing Izzy's? I'm just like, oh, shit.
Yeah, I left, I left before that happened.
Oh, yeah, so did I.
Yeah.
I left before he texted me to confirm that we were actually doing that this weekend, so.
Yeah, but, I just woke up. It's daylight savings time. Finally happened. And
wait, is it?
Yeah, actually, because I woke up early this morning I was in the bathroom and I was like, why is it so much brighter outside than it needs to be? And I looked and I was like, oh, daylight savings time happened Sunday at midnight, and then it skipped from 2:00 to 4:00.
No, it didn't.
It happened yesterday, March 12th.
Today's March 5th. It doesn't happen until March 12th.
Oh my god.
That's next week.
I'm just stupid.
What the fuck, Izzy? You had me thinking that I was going to get to enjoy an extra hour of daylight whenever I get off of work at 6. No.
Next week.
Izzy inadvertently gaslit me into thinking it was both March
Me
13th.
too.
Myself, I guess. I was still waking up and then I just.
That means the day crabs fries is in 9 days.
Oh
my
shit,
god.
Right.
The day crabs fries.
God. Oh god. Can we just not put that in? I feel stupid.
Nope.
unless there's copyrighted material, I do not edit these things at all. So
oh man. Okay.
At least we haven't gotten to the moan of 9/11 yet.
I don't want to talk about that.
yeah, we can avoid that. That's the only mention we'll have of it. But yeah, we won't.
God.
Oh my god.
Worst moment of my career that doesn't even exist.
I am kind of curious though, what drove you to do it?
I don't want to talk about it. Okay, it wasn't supposed to come out like it did. And then it did, and then I was like, wait a minute.
And then 3 people clipped it all at the same time.
I really was so mad. The clip still exists.
It does. It does.
Please, Please don't go looking for it.
I mean, it's not called what we're dubbing it. Like, we dub it something completely different from what the clip is called. So don't say what the clip is actually called. But if you wind up deep diving for it, I mean, have fun watching all my clips. Give me extra views on my Twitch channel. That's fine. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, the actual title is just so much shorter. But that's besides the point.
Oh my god.
What
I
else
also
is
feel
good?
bad because we were supposed to play Mario Party again last night, but me and Summer didn't get home until like 9:30.
Oof.
Yeah, I remember texting at like 7:30 my time. So speaking of Saturday night streams, because it was like in the mentions how you were going to like change up your stream schedule a little bit. I was like, so when? And then nothing. And
Well,
then it was
okay,
like,
it's because
and then it was
so
like-
it's gonna be tournaments only that are moved to Saturdays, just because I don't want to have to get off work an extra 30 minutes late on Friday, then have to rush myself to start a tournament at 8 o'clock. Also, if I do it on Saturdays, I already have that day off, so I can move the tournaments earlier, meaning if they last longer, we still have that extra time to be awake.
Yes.
But yeah, so I know we talked about it during the live podcast. I'm a manager now, but also since I work a specific position at my job as well that we now have to have weekly meetings for just to make sure that everything's running properly. So yeah. Woohoo.
What do you do for work?
For walk?
Is it-
Well, I
for
use my legs.
What do you do for that walkie slush?
I use my walk to make rice. No, I actually work in the food service industry. I work at a Cajun restaurant where I live, which is pretty solid, and it's crawfish season, so we're getting like quite a lot of business for the crawfish.
Dude, whenever I come up there to visit at some point, you have to text me what it is so that way I can come see you.
Oh, absolutely. Like bring Summer too.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. Like the place is great. My mother was born in New Orleans. She lived there till she was like maybe like 8 or 9. But
so-
anything I know about like crawfish or Cajun stuff, I know from her.
Yeah.
There's a picture of her as a child in my grandmother's house, where she's like maybe 4, and she's holding a crawfish head in one hand and the tail in the other, and has got this triumphant grin on her face, and just like it's her first like successfully separated crawfish.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so there's that, and like business has just been a lot better because crawfish season started.
Yeah.
And like that's where I was last night because I was working a double last night, so that's why I'm still very tired.
Get you your money.
That's true.
yeah.
That paycheck's gonna be hitting different.
Oh, well, they have been for sure. We had Mardi Gras a couple weeks back.
Get you your
shit,
money.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The paycheck from that was very, very solid. And any extra money that I've been making from that, I'm setting aside because your girl got a cruise coming up. Got a cruise in, what is it? I think like 2 weeks.
Oh shit, dude. Hell yeah.
Already?
Yeah, we got.
I remember
we got a
you
lot going
talking
on.
about it, but I didn't think it would happen this soon. Jeez.
Yeah, so we got it. It was a gift from my parents for Christmas.
Yeah.
My boyfriend Zach and I are both going. We leave in like I'm pretty sure it's like 2 weeks. And we're gonna be gone. It's like a 5-night cruise. Food's paid for, and we're going to Mexico, which is gonna be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a lot going on within the next couple weeks, so
Dude,
we're
the
very
coolest
excited
thing
about
I have
that.
going on in a couple weeks is just going to Arlington to watch a fucking football game, which is still cool in and of itself, but it ain't no cruise, that's for sure.
You just going to see the game? I mean, there's Six Flags in Arlington.
Okay, so we're not going to Six Flags because me and Isaiah, we're broke as hell, and also Isaiah just left the car wash that I work at, and he's starting a new job. Yeah, so we'll probably talk about that whenever we record his episode.
But Didn't we already do an Isaiah episode?
No, we didn't. We did Summer, and then we were supposed to do Isaiah Sunday night, but then I forgot that Summer streams Sunday nights, so we didn't get the chance to record his. But
okay.
yeah, essentially what we're gonna do, we're gonna leave the day before at like 10 a.m. so we can get there and check into our hotel at like 1 o'clock. We're just gonna hang out around Arlington for a little bit. There's this amazing burger place. For anyone that lives in Arlington or near Arlington or that is planning to visit Arlington, Grease Monkey's Garage is the burger place to go in Arlington. It is a go-to. Like anytime me and my dad go there for Cowboys games, Rangers games, anything we have to go to Arlington for, we always make sure we set aside like an extra 1 or 2 hours just to go to Grease Monkeys. Like it is that good. It is that good. But
Yeah,
we're gonna go there. I told him on the way back we need to hit out the In-N-Out that's in Denton, because the route that we take just goes straight through Denton. The only reason I know that is because I was thinking about going to college at UNT for a little bit.
That's where my brother's going.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, that is where my brother's going. Not to like interject or anything, but
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, no, I got
he goes to college, or he's planning to go to college like in the fall, that's crazy. Like he's gonna be 18 this summer, and that is very daunting to think about.
Oh
so, like,
my god. My oldest
Oh.
nephew's gonna be a teenager this year.
Ooh,
Oh,
Oh,
my
no.
god.
the terrible teens. Oh no.
Oh my god.
Adina is 16.
No! Oh,
Ooh.
that's right. She drives. I
Yeah.
remember
Oh my
coming over to
God.
visit your house after you had moved to Georgia, and Adina was
Ooh.
what did she drive? A Jeep?
Does she? I've
I-
never seen her car.
I think it's either a Jeep or some other form of SUV, but like I saw her there and like she had car keys in her hand, so I'm just like, "Oh shit, that's hers."
Yeah, yeah. My little
Oh my
sister
god.
on the road.
Guys, we're
That's-
getting old.
Oh my god, tell me about it.
No,
I-
okay,
I-
listen. I saw a video that's like what I think Mario was 20 years ago, and it's like the old 8-bit Mario games. No, it's fucking Mario Kart Double Dash.
Yeah.
That's Mario 20 years ago.
That was 20 years ago?
Mm-hmm. It turned 20 years old this year.
I'm having my quarter life crisis right now.
I still remember like 2 years ago, Caleb calling me, and we just had like a realization that we were old because the stuff we grew up with is now starting to be considered retro. Because most people consider things to be retro once they're 15 years or older.
Mm-hmm.
The Wii is considered retro now.
Skyrim is 13 years old.
Skyrim is about to be a retro video game.
Yeah.
Skyrim is almost retro? Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah. That's
It will
what's
be
going
in
on.
2 years. In 2
It'll
years.
never be retro.
Yeah.
Skyrim is timeless.
Oh my god.
Okay,
This-
yes, it is timeless, but it's still going to be considered retro by
Yeah.
time frame standards.
By time frame standards, it will be. At 15 years, things become retro, babe. You got
And
2
Bethesda
years.
is still working on Elder Scrolls 6.
And still working on Elder Scrolls 6.
Oh my god,
Oh,
dude.
that's crazy to me. Like I'm closer to 30 now than I am to 21, which is still very daunting to me.
I'm
you
closer
know?
to 30 than I believe being 16. Or, hang on, I might be at the midpoint. 16 plus. No, I'm closer to being 16 than I am 30. But still, I'm only 8 years away from being 30. I was 16 fucking 6 years ago.
Oh my god. Oh man. But you were talking about, like, not to weird segue, I guess, but you were talking about a burger place in
Oh,
Arlington.
yeah.
Now-
Grease Monkey's Garage. Yeah.
Now, as a Texas native originally, like, I do want to say that if you are a lover of wings of any kind, you need to go to Pluckers. Pluckers is a wing bar. This place is phenomenal. I tell you what.
How close is
Like-
it to Arlington?
There's like a couple of
Hang
locations.
on, I can look this up real quick. I have Apple Maps. I don't know why I'm asking you to answer something for me. Like,
No, it's
You-
fine. Like
You
there's,
had me at wings.
it's very good.
Pluckers
Pluckers.
Wing Bar.
Let's see.
There's one in Grapevine. We passed by. Oh, there is one in Arlington.
Yeah, there is. There's like one or two in the Arlington area because I took my brother there when we went to Six Flags, and then I took Zach there when he went to visit my parents for the very first time, and I took him to Six Flags, and we went to Pluckers beforehand, and ever since this man tells me, he goes, how do I get one? How do we get one here? I'm like, it's a Texas staple. I don't think we can. He's like, well,
it's 12 minutes away from where we're going to be staying in Arlington. So like, I might just try to convince Isaiah, just be like, hey, Grease Monkey for lunch whenever we get there, Pluckers for dinner.
Or you could do Pluckers for lunch, Pluckers for dinner. Are you going on like a weekend?
Yeah, we're going. Okay, so the way the trip's lining up, we're leaving, like I said, 9 or 10 a.m. Saturday, getting there to where we can check in pretty much as soon as they allow check-in. Hanging around Arlington all day that Saturday. Sunday morning, waking up, continental breakfast. He made sure to find a hotel with continental breakfast, so
nice.
The football game is at 2, so probably immediately after breakfast, we're just gonna go over to, I think they renamed it to, I forget what it is. It's a native named stadium, like where the Rangers used to play at.
Oh,
yes. They changed it over to basically just an all-around event stadium.
It used to be, I think it was it Globe Life?
It was Globe Life Field, and now Globe Life Park is across the street. I forget what they is it Choctaw Stadium now? It might be Choctaw Stadium. But we're gonna try to go there immediately after checking out, just to have like, cool pre-football game activities. Pretty sure there's gonna be a lot of tailgating going on. And then pretty much immediately after the game, we're gonna try to just head home. And like I said, hit up In-N-Out for dinner, but...
Yeah. I recommend trying to, if you can, I recommend trying to go to Pluckers around lunchtime because dinner time at Pluckers is fucking crazy. Like, it is almost always busy.
We're gonna have nothing better to do while we're over there. It's not like dinner time we have to immediately be back in our hotel room or we have to immediately be at the stadium. Like, we have all Saturday open specifically for us to go and wait places if we have to.
Yeah.
Pluckers is only a 14-hour drive away from where I'm at.
All right, Caleb. Meet us at Pluckers.
You just see me in a Winnebago.
That one nerd meetup at Pluckers.
Yeah. That one fan meetup. Come to Pluckers in East Arlington, Texas.
We record a live podcast at Pluckers.
Oh my, that would actually be really funny.
Is it bad that that's actually like a dream for this podcast one day, is for us to just be able to have enough notoriety to where we can go somewhere and record a live podcast?
I bet we could get it done. We could get it done.
Like a private booth at Pluckers and just have the whole podcast set up there.
Yes.
Reach that level of notoriety for sure. Oh my god.
That would be something else, that's for sure.
Here, wait, hang on. I have to ask something. Hey babe. Do I have permission to tell the story about my mom's finger? Can I tell him that?
Yes.
Are you okay with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm afraid.
No, it's fine. So, no. So I had mentioned before that what led to Pluckers was because I brought Zach home to meet like my family. Well, not meet them. He'd already met them, but to like see my family home for the first time, essentially.
Yeah.
Which is cool. And like we had gone to see my brother performing with his marching band before we went, and then we like had dinner with my parents, which was cool. And then I got to essentially introduce him to my parents' home, which also included introducing him to our dogs. Now, and we also have cats. He was more excited about the cats than the dogs because that's just
shut up, Caleb. Dogs are superior.
No, that's just who he is, and I like both. And I mean, we have an outside cat, so I mean, I like him enough. So we go, and I wasn't entirely sure how we were going to approach this because my dogs are a little bit bigger dogs. I have Dot, who is like, she's like a boxer, like bully pit mix. So she's got like the long boxer legs and kind of the pit face. She is precious, adorable, literally has a dot on her head, which is her namesake.
Hell yeah.
And then we have Lana, who is a Malinois. So she's like she almost kind of looks like a shepherd, but like much shorter hair and like not quite as big. But they are not super social because whenever we had like people over, it would be like repair people, and they would primarily be male repair people, and my parents would put them either in the backyard or in the bedroom because they don't want them jumping all over them while doing their job.
Yeah.
So when a strange new man comes into the house and they're like, wait, why are we not being put in the bedroom or put outside? Who is this man? We're confused but excited.
Right.
And so that's how that had happened, because I thought we were gonna like put them on a leash and then like bring them like keep them on a leash while they just kind of sniffed him out. And my mom was like, no, just bring Zach through the backyard. I'm like, but the backyard, like that's their territory. What do you mean? And she's like, no, it's fine. I'm like, okay. So we go through the house and we go to the backyard. They're not, okay. And I want to preface this again. Like, my dogs are not aggressive at all in the slightest. They are just easily excitable and just they were very confused. So Zach goes outside and the dogs are just like, they swarm him essentially. And like, there's some of them, like they're barking a little bit because they're just like, oh my God, there's a strange man here.
Right.
You know, and that was a little like kind of overwhelming, like, cause I was worried they were going to get too excited. And it was a little overwhelming for him too, and I was kind of annoyed. I'm like, why did we do this like this? This is not like a good way to do this. And then my parents were like, okay, let's put them on the leash, take them out into the front yard. I was like, okay, great. So we take Dot first, and we gave Zach some like little milk bone treats to give to them, which was a lot easier because he's like, oh, this strange man has food. Cool. And so then we bring Lana out. And then Lana's like doing okay. She's doing fine. And then she sees Dot down the sidewalk with my dad. My mom has got the leash for Lana like wrapped around her hand. Mm-hmm. Lana takes off like full sprint, or tries to. And in the process, dislocated my mom's ring finger.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It was like... And at first, my dad thought my mom was like, maybe she sprained it. He's like, oh, like, you're fine, it's okay. And she's like, no, something's not fine. And she tried to take her ring off, and her finger had already swollen over her ring. Oh, and she couldn't get it off. And it was not what we expected.
Oh no, definitely
happen.
not. I don't think anybody would expect to have their finger dislocated whenever, you know, they're hanging out with their child's significant other, like.
I know, and it was just like, it was crazy. And I mean, at first I didn't think that it had really happened either. I was like, maybe it was just a really bad sprain, and that was not the case. Yeah, and mind you, again, it's like later at night, so most of like the urgent care clinics, like the tiny ones, were closed already for the night.
Yeah.
So then my dad had to like call our insurance and be like, are there any places that are open that we can get this looked at? And they were out for the majority of the night until like 6 a.m.
Oh my
getting
God.
this all figured out. Yeah, it was a pretty like, there was a pretty clean break. Her finger was essentially being held on by her ring. They had to cut the ring off, obviously, to like get in there. Yeah. And I mean, and this happened like several months ago. She's much better now. The ring hasn't, as far as I know, hasn't been fixed yet. She's got like kind of a pretty badass looking scar on her ring finger too.
Hell yeah. I got a pretty badass looking scar on my foot. Check this out. No, I'm kidding.
Feet. But yeah, it was just crazy. She had to do like some mild like physical therapy on it for a while, had it in a splint for a while, but she's better now. And Zach felt so bad because he thought it was all his fault, and I said, it's not your fault. Like, it was Lana. Lana got too excited, saw her sister, and tried to book it, and it's okay now. And I still tell him that today. I'm like, hey babe, it's not your fault. Love you.
Love you.
Oh, see, he still doesn't feel so great about it. But I
What
mean,
kind of Ben Stiller romantic comedy was that story?
This is that felt like a deleted scene from Meet the Fockers. That's what that felt like, you know?
I mean, it's definitely not what I wanted to happen. Like bringing like my boyfriend to my family home for the first time or anything like that. You know, it's that kind of like sent things in a spiral for a little bit.
Damn.
But the rest of the trip was good. Like,
that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's no alternative story where something happened with your dad and a cat, and he broke his toe.
No, the cats were great. Like the cats were like the highlight for him. He really liked the cats, and the cats are super chill too. They were just like confused that there's another like person in the house again, but they were overall like very nice to him. And then when like while we were trying to sleep, Lana kept like hopping up in the chair and like trying to put her head on his chest and like get up in his face, but just as if to say like, I'm sorry.
I didn't do this.
I didn't do it.
I ruined the family reunion.
But I mean, at the end of the day, it's one of those stories that I'm just gonna think back on for the rest of my life and like laugh about and like tell my grandkids about or something. You know, that's just. But and again, the rest of the trip was good. And again, like like I said, we went to Pluckers and Six Flags and all that afterwards, which was pretty good.
Hell yeah.
But that's probably one of the more like eventful stories of my life, I would think. Yeah. Jacob, because I've always wondered this. So like how did meeting like Summer's family go for you?
I mean, it wasn't bad. There was no awkward like, oh god, I feel like her dad's gonna kill me. I do have one funny story involving it though. So I want to say it was my junior prom. Yeah, it was my junior prom because I didn't go to my senior one just because the junior prom was like absolute bullshit. It was not a good time. So first of all, I drive 2 hours in my dad's car to Ada to pick Summer up. This is the day of too. So like she's getting ready before we drive an extra 2 hours back home. And then drive an extra 45 minutes into Tulsa to actually go where the prom is. So I pick her up. Everything's going fine. We get to the prom. I forget what it's called, but like it's a really small event center. And I mean, that place was tiny. It couldn't fit everybody. It was really hot. The only concessions or like snacks they had, because like Summer's prom in Glenpool, they had like sandwiches, cookies, punch, stuff like that. No, we had popcorn and a soda fountain for a fucking prom. I don't know who arranged that prom that year, but you're a bitch and you should feel bad, okay? That is not a memorable experience for anybody. I don't remember anyone talking about the 2018 prom and having fond memories of it. The DJ, shit music the entire night. Like nobody enjoyed it. It's so bad to the point that me and Summer leave early. And there's this movie that just came out, Blockers. The plot of Blockers is these girls are trying to basically get laid on their prom night. So before we go to watch the movie, we go to the theater that me and her both used to perform at because, you know, her mom volunteers at the theater still to do like serving and stuff during the shows. So we get over there and then she invites her mom and her dad and I think her sister to come watch a movie about girls trying to get laid on their prom night. On our prom night.
Oh no.
So we're sitting there, we're watching the movie, and I'm just sitting there awkwardly the whole time. I'm like, oh my god, I hope her dad doesn't get any wrong ideas about this.
What are your intentions with my daughter?
So we get out of the movie afterwards. We're walking out, nothing happens. Her dad comes up to me, smacks me on the back, and I'm just like, oh no. Oh no. He looks at me, he's like, that's the funniest shit I've ever seen. And I'm just like, oh my God. I'm internally freaking out, just like, oh my God. Because the plan too was for her to stay the night at me and my dad's place, because obviously I'm not driving 2 hours back to Ada at like 11 p.m. Fuck that. So yeah, the plan was for her to stay the night. So I'm just sitting there like shitting myself, just like, oh my God, this is the worst movie on the worst night to go watch with your parents.
The movie.
Huh?
Who picked the movie?
I picked the movie because I wanted to see it purely because John Cena was in it. I didn't know she was going to invite her parents because her dad had really wanted to see the movie too.
Oh my God. Oh, that is not the kind of thing you invite your parents to.
I mean, luckily everything was fine. Like, he didn't have the talk of, you better not do anything with my daughter. You better not, like, I didn't get that speech given to me, but still, it was just such an awkward experience this entire time. Like,
what would be more concerning if the dad was like, don't touch my daughter, or if the dad was like a little too blessing of it. He's just like, get in there, champ, you got this. I don't, which one do you think would be worse?
I don't want to even try to begin to think about which one would be worse.
Oh my God, that makes me think of like that one episode of Family Guy where like, oh, what is it? Like, it was when Meg's in a coma and she wants to like date the intern doctor that took care of her after she wakes up, and Peter is like, what are your intentions with my daughter? And Peter asks this doctor if when he self-indulges, that like, he's like, just you sit on your hand until it goes numb and then self-indulge and pretend it's someone else. And this doctor's like, honestly, yeah. And then Peter goes, not anymore, you don't, because you're going out with my daughter. It's like, I still can't get over what you said about your prom only having like popcorn.
Yeah, popcorn and a soda fountain. Like, they didn't think to get
for mine.
Yeah, they didn't think to get any kind of catering. Like, okay, we went to high school in Manford. It is not like a rich school. It is a very, very poor school.
I think like 200 people graduate a year.
Okay.
Oh, not even that. Our graduating class was like just barely over 100. Like, that is how small it is. So like, obviously I wasn't expecting this massive spectacle, right? But like, before COVID, they could afford to have their graduations at the University of Tulsa every year. And that's not a cheap venue to book, because they book out the main basketball arena that they play in for graduation. So, like, I feel like if they could afford to have graduation at the University of Tulsa, then they could afford to have at least some kind of catering at fucking prom. But, you know.
Was there no room in the budget for tiny sandwiches?
Yeah, no, seriously, like, could they not have at least gone to Walmart and gotten a tray of those sandwiches? Because those are only like $20 a tray. It's not that expensive.
And there's only like, what, 100 kids or so? So you buy like, I don't know, 6 of those?
Yeah, 6 of those, because each tray comes with like 15. So every kid would be able to have a sandwich. And then you could still have popcorn in there as a side. But the fact that it was only popcorn, that's what pisses me off the most.
What was the name of that venue, by the way?
I forget what it was called.
I had my senior pictures taken.
Okay,
there,
like, do you know, it's the place that has all those like retro gas station and restaurant signs.
It's right around the Woody Guthrie Center. It's like around the corner.
I'm gonna look it up. I think it was called Stuckley's Event Center.
I thought it was like a fucking ballroom. I had mine at Kane's Ballroom. That's where I had mine.
Oh, well, Kane's Ballroom would have been better. Stokely Event Center. That's what it is.
You had yours at Stokely? Dude, that place is for like indie bands who could only get tickets for like 70 people.
Yeah, dude, like it is tiny, and it is not the best venue. The best thing about the venue is that they had free arcade machines. And guess what? They aren't good arcade games. They're the shit ones that nobody remembers.
They don't even have Pac-Man?
Nope, no Pac-Man. No Pac-Man. Probably
There's no
the most
Pac-Man.
the most universally recognizable arcade cabinet is Pac-Man, and they didn't have it.
They didn't have like that Terminator Salvation thing with the 2 guns that every arcade seems
Well, no,
to have.
I'm talking like
It's really
retro
good at that
arcade,
game.
like 8-bit arcade games. They had a shitty racing game that did not control well. What else did they have?
Exactly.
It's not even that memorable. You can't even like. It doesn't even matter.
And nothing else matters.
Yeah, it's nice. Goated song. Goated song. I had like my prom was a little different, so I don't know if we had like a catering or something like that. But if it, mind you, my school was not like a rich school, but it was a little bigger. My graduating class was over 500 kids.
God damn, yeah, that's huge compared to Manford. Like that is massive.
Yeah, my school district was pretty large, and we had our prom at the House of Blues, if that tells you anything, which is pretty cool.
That doesn't tell me anything at all. I don't know what that is.
It means there was cool. It means there was cool flooring.
Yeah, the flooring was pretty cool. The theme probably could have been different. I like we had like an Alice in Wonderland thing. It was called a Night in Wonderland is what it was called. And my prom was in 2016. I don't remember a dang thing about the food or the snacks or like anything like that. What I do remember is like obviously we're all underage, so we can't drink or anything like that. But they still gave us drinks in like really cool looking glasses.
Okay. I thought this was about to take a completely different turn. I thought they were just trying to get a bunch of underage kids boozed up for prom.
Some old guy was passing around Steve Weisers and shit.
No.
You want a Seagrams, young man?
Seagrams are good. I don't care. What
They
says,
are.
Yeah, but no, they would give us essentially like just mocktails in cocktail glasses, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
We felt pretty cool about it. We had a raffle at the end of the night. A friend of mine won like a mini fridge, which is pretty nice. Yeah, it was fun. Like it was not a bad night. I went with my my boyfriend at the time. He had like already graduated and he didn't go to his senior prom, so I took him to mine. And that was a good time. Like it was fun, and we actually were there, I think, for the majority of the night, which is, I guess, more than I can say for you in summer, Jake.
Oh yeah, no, we left maybe not even halfway through. Like we had left that place at around 8 p.m. because by the time we got into the spotlight, they had just finished their show, and they normally finish anywhere between 8:30 and 9.
Yeah. I remember I think we went to Chili's after. We went to get Chili's after. It was like me and my boyfriend at the time and all of our friends together. And then I remember coming home and my parents were genuinely surprised that I wasn't home later than I was.
Yeah.
They were like, we thought you'd be out until like 2 o'clock. And I'm like, well, you didn't give me a curfew, and knowing how you guys parent me, I didn't think you'd want me to do that.
Man, you're talking about having Chili's for your prom dinner. Guess where me and Summer went? Taco Bueno.
Oh.
Yeah, no, like legit. I was like, hey, I have like $80 that we can eat on. So as long as we don't exceed $80, we can go anywhere you want. And she's like, I want to go to Taco Bueno. So we go into Taco Bueno, and mind you, no one else is in here at the moment. Like, the dining room is completely empty. So you just have a guy walking in a tux and a girl walking in a dress. Just fancy as hell to a Taco Bueno. And they were like, y'all are a little bit overdressed to be here. And I'm just like, yeah, we're about to go to prom, and she wanted to go to Taco Bueno. And then they were just like, okay, yeah, fair. What do you want?
Oh, jeez.
Caleb, do you have any crazy or funny prom stories?
I've got a couple.
Okay.
So the way that we did it was the prom didn't actually start for us until like 6 in the evening. and
Okay.
then it went to like 10.
Yeah.
We only stayed until like 9ish because people got bored. Because remember, my senior prom was your junior prom.
Yeah.
So people started getting bored pretty quickly and left like an hour and a half before everything was done, you know?
I completely
So,
forgot that your senior prom was the same year as my junior prom. I forget that we're only 1 year apart.
So we went to this steak restaurant, and the thing is that I didn't get my driver's license until I was 19.
I got mine at like 18, so I feel
I got
bad.
mine at 16.
The
Get
only
fucked.
reason my mom took me to go get my driver's license, I think, was because it was 2 weeks before I was going to college. And she was just like,
I got my car.
yeah, exactly. So I got it was weird because on my 18th birthday I got my car, but I was not allowed to drive said car until I got my license, which is like months later.
Oh
And,
my god.
So my dad, I was 17. So my dad, he's like, I've got you guys. And I thought he was gonna be like, oh, he's gonna drive us around in his car and stuff. My man rents a whole nice ass Cadillac for the night.
Ooh.
He hands me
$150.
$150, and he's like, and he sends me into this fancy restaurant with my girl at the time. So my dad is doing something I never thought he would do. He's handing me money and like spending it, which is Jake knows my dad. My dad is one of those people. Like, my mom is the giver out of both of them, but my dad is going ham tonight.
Oh yeah, no, your dad never gives out money. Even whenever your mom would give out money, he's like, what the hell? Like,
mostly because that's his money she's giving away.
Valid. Feel valid.
No wonder he was always pissed whenever she would give me $20 for gas.
Because that was his 20. He was about to spend that on beer.
Oh my god.
But he sends me in, and I'm just like, and it was a pretty nice place. It was very Texan, and because it was like a barbecue place, but she was totally into that. And so I'm coming out, and so I was like, get whatever you want, because I'm about to do the same. So I got like this big ass like fucking 16-ounce steak and shit with mashed potatoes and broccoli and a whole bunch of stuff like that. And I get like there was this thing where you could just order a whole gallon of tea, and then you could drink it out of the pitcher. So I got that.
Oh my god.
Our meal altogether was like $70.
All that was only 70?
Yeah. So I'm just like, but then I realized, I told my dad, yeah, we're probably gonna go somewhere after prom and just sort of hang out. So that was my budget for the night, was $150.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Gotcha.
But still, a steakhouse where you get a gallon pitcher.
Here's the kicker. An old
golden
couple
chick
saw us eating. They walked up, asked if we were going to prom. We said yes, and they were like, "Oh, that's so sweet," and they walked away. Turns out they found our waitress and said, "How much is their bill?" and paid for us.
No fucking way.
And lovely, and they were such a nice old couple. And before they left, they told us a story about how they were high school sweethearts. They went to prom together.
Aww.
They've been married for 40 years.
So sweet.
And they were the sweetest people.
That's wholesome. That is actually wholesome.
And I'm just sitting there in my suit and my green bow tie, and she's sitting across from me with her teal dress, and we looked like a couple of dorks. but we rocked it because we didn't know any better.
That's so cute. Oh my god.
And then, the prom itself wasn't really all that fun because they didn't play. They played pretty good music, but once again, the snacks weren't really that good. I was like, Jake was like, they only had a soda bar. Me, I was like, holy shit, they have a soda bar.
Okay,
just walk up.
Listen. The thing that I think pisses me off about that the most is that it's not even something that I think the school paid for. It's something that was already installed in the event center, and they were just like, "Fuck it, you can use it."
The only memorable thing about the actual prom venue itself is that Jake Landrum and Connor Hayes finally managed to bully the DJ into playing Freebird. That was the only thing.
That must have happened after I left.
It was like the last hour or so. He's just like, okay, you guys have been asking me for this all night, so we're gonna play it. Free. It's just free.
Just start a mosh pit in the center of the stage. They just
There was a kid named Canyon Guffey, and I remember him over in the corner. This is when he had grown out his mullet, because this was just after wrestling season. And the wrestlers, it's a tradition, when you're on the wrestling team during wrestling season, you grow a mullet. That's just the school tradition.
It was a Manford thing.
I did it.
It was a Manford thing. Yeah.
I did it. I had a long overgrown mullet, so I had like the bangs and everything to go with mine.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was also weird seeing him that year going from being completely bald to growing out that mullet, because he had to shave his whole head for a fucking Halloween costume. Actually, no, he shaved half his head, and then the next day he shaved the other half so he didn't look stupid.
Yes, it was a fantastic costume.
It was, yes.
Like, what's he gonna do? Like, just grow half his hair back overnight? I mean,
I still remember seeing that costume because I was just sitting in the trailer we were living in at the time. No one came by for trick-or-treating, so I was just sitting in the chair. I forgot to lock the door. All of a sudden, Caleb's bursting in the door, just like, "Give me your candy!"
Just screaming at the top of my lungs. Jake did that thing that surprised people where they flailed and kick a little bit. And I remember his face was like,
just throw the whole bowl at him. It's like,
take it! I don't want it! It's not worth my life! But after that, I did a thing where I didn't quite tell my dad that a couple paid for our meal. But I gave him his change eventually.
oh, okay.
So my date is just like, I'm actually really uncomfortable and I should have brought a spare change of clothes. And we're like talking, I was like, yeah, this suit is starting to get stiff too. So dad pulls into Target and buys pajamas for both of us to wear for the rest of the day. Like
based dad.
Like, he bought gray sweatpants for both of us and a big fluffy shirt for her, and I wanted just a plain black t-shirt, and he just got changed in the Target bathrooms with clothes that he just bought.
That's adorable, honestly. I don't know why that just seems so funny to me, but I love that.
Honestly, I could not fumble that night because of my dad. He was like,
your dad was a grade A wingman that night, is what it sounds like.
Every time it sounded like I was about to fumble it a little bit, he would be the guy at the very edge of the tennis court smacking that shit back to the other side.
I love how you put two different sports terms in that one. It's like, fumbled.
Fumble and tennis return. Yeah.
I am a sporty guy.
Yeah, sports ball.
Sports ball.
Sports ball.
Do you watch any of the sports ball, Izzy?
I dabble a bit in the football.
Football.
Hell yeah.
Yes,
hell yeah.
I dabble in the football because my
You watching any of the XFL?
Of the don't please, guys.
There's 3 games on tonight.
What?
ESPN app.
I only brought up mine because Jake brought up his. I was like, oh shit, we're doing this.
I mean, so it's primarily like college ball because my parents on my dad's side, my family on my dad's side, are like sooner born, sooner bred, then sooner or later I'm sooner dead type thing. That's just because again, like they all are from Oklahoma. Yeah. And that was like the environment that I grew up in.
Same. No, my dad was a hardcore OU fan. Like I was raised like, OU's the only team that fucking matters.
Yeah, I didn't really understand it much as a kid because I was like, but we live in, because, I'm a kid. I'm like, we live in Texas. Are we supposed to read? He goes, no, no, we do not. And I've been to two Red River rivalry games
Lucky.
as a kid. Yeah, those were cool. I was too young to like really appreciate it, but I know that I've been to two of them. I remember one of them, it was like raining the majority of the
You know what
day,
I
so-
just realized?
What?
I'm a manager at my job now, and every year the managers all pitch in to go to a Red River rivalry game.
Ooh. Red River this past season was not. Oh, we're all doing this? Okay. Red River this past season was not great. I'm pretty sure we lost.
We got absolutely fucked. I think the final score
Yeah.
was 40-something to 0.
Yeah, it was not a good. I don't think it was a good season for OU in general.
Oh yeah, no. It was definitely a terrible year. I don't know who to blame it on. If I should blame it on the coach, if I should blame it on the players, if I should blame it on the fact that they weren't really scouting out the right players to bring into the team.
Well, didn't one of the coaches leave?
Lincoln Riley left. He wasn't there this season.
Yeah, I know. He seemed to be the glue that kind of kept all of that together, if I'm being honest.
Our defense was just fucking terrible.
That's a common OU problem.
Yeah, well, because I was at work when the past Red River game was on, and we had it on the TVs at work, and it was a really slow day because no one's gonna come into like this tiny little Cajun restaurant when the OU game is on. Everyone's either gonna be watching the game at home or they're actually gonna be there. And
or a B-dubs.
Yeah, I was about to say, or a sports bar, like.
Yeah, or a sports bar, and we're not a sports bar, so obviously it was gonna be slow.
Yeah.
And we spent like maybe half of our shift just actually watching the game, and it just hurt. Like it hurt my soul.
Yeah, I just looked up. I looked up the score. The final score was 49 to 0.
Yeah, it was not good. I went to a game. Another. Oh god,
dude.
Caleb.
OU lost to Texas. They lost to Oklahoma State. OU never loses to Oklahoma State and Texas. I still remember whenever Monday Night Raw was in Tulsa in December, JBL roasted the fuck out of Oklahoma. Because I know you're probably not a big wrestling fan, but like JBL's like this big Texas boy, so he immediately like brought up the OU Texas game. And then he's like, y'all are moving to the SEC, y'all are gonna die.
Y'all are gonna die.
I'm familiar a little bit with JBL. Like I know the name.
Yeah.
I saw an OU game, again, another one when I was really young. It was in Norman, like on the Norman campus.
Yeah.
I remember it so well because I was in like elementary school or middle school or something, and I wrote about it for like a project or like a homework assignment. And I remember they played Nebraska. They played Nebraska Cornhuskers, and they absolutely smoked the Cornhuskers. Like it was unreal for like a football score.
Oh yeah, no, like I the first time I've ever been to an OU game was actually this year. I went to two. I went to one with my dad, and then I went to one with the company because they get free tickets to all sporting events that OU holds because we're partnered with the school.
Okay.
So the first game I went to is because my dad got free tickets. The seats were awful. It was extremely cramped where we were, so we left after the first quarter. We could not stand it. Like, we were packed in so tight, you couldn't move your arms. That's how bad it was. The second game we went to, since it was a game that I went to where, since we're partnered with the school, we got to go to the Champions tailgate beforehand. I got a little drunk because alcohol was free. They had some.
Not gonna pass up free alcohol.
Exactly. They had some amazing food, except for this one place. It was a burger place. I don't know how you overcook a burger on the outside, but it's still practically raw on the inside.
Oh, I know how you can do that.
By being shit at grilling. Like, like, it was bad, but the thing that's funny, me and Isaiah had the same amount of drinks at the Champions tailgate. So we were both feeling pretty good going into the game. We're in there. He buys at least 8 more Michelobs for himself. And then he buys our head manager at least 2 or 3. So Isaiah's fucking wasted. I remember we're walking back to our car after the game, and we made the mistake of staying till the very end because it was a close game. So we had 3 hours of traffic to sit in. But we're going back out to my car. I'm having to like have my arm around him, holding him up. And obviously, like, there's some people giving us some looks just like, gay? But it's just because I'm trying to hold him up, and then we get back out to the we get back out to the car, and not even 10 minutes later, he's just So I'm just sitting there in 3 hours of post OU game traffic, just absolutely bored out of my mind because traffic is moving maybe one car every 20 minutes.
Oh, Jesus. Oh God. That's an interesting segue. What's your worst, like, drinking story? Worst drunk story?
All right, Caleb, you know this one. Me and Caleb can share the exact same one. All right.
Okay.
Caleb's,
you go first, I'll tell you mine after.
Caleb's bachelor party, right?
Oh, I like where this is going.
So first of all, he comes back. This is after his basic training, so we didn't really have time to.
Warning.
Yeah.
Profanity warning.
So we didn't really have a chance to plan anything, so we just had basically a bonfire in his backyard. I get there a little bit late because I was working the night shift at the gas station I had worked at. So I came over there with some fried food because I know that helps with, over drinking.
Much appreciated.
Yeah. Yep. I get there and everyone's already like, yeah, we're 2 shots in, got a couple drinks. So I immediately take 2 shots of Jack Daniels.
He tries to catch up.
Yeah, I try to catch up immediately.
Good stuff though, good stuff.
Oh my God.
My dad, my brother Tristan, and I are already well on our way, and Jake just tries to sprint to catch up with us.
So I take 2 shots. They have some like Mike's Hard. Caleb's mom eventually goes to get some like truly spiked hard seltzers and everything. So
nice.
I drink at least 2 Mike's Hards between the shots of Jack Daniels. Then I open up a 3rd Mike's Hard, take another shot of Jack Daniels, then immediately start chugging down the Mike's Hard.
This is looking at him in horror, by the way, as he's doing all of this.
So, she comes back with the Trulies, and you know the Stone Cold thing, whenever he takes his drinks, he opens them both up, smacks them, and then pours them immediately down, right?
Yep.
I take off my shirt. I have a recording of this on my phone. I told Tristan to record me doing this. So I crack them both open. I smack them together. Then I just immediately start chugging them down.
You're just drowning.
Eventually, he slows down just a little bit.
Oh, yeah, no. This is whenever I'm still conscious, okay? So I'm still conscious. I do that. I take a 4th shot of Jack Daniels.
And Tristan didn't know the whole breaking the seal thing.
Yeah.
So Tristan broke his seal. So my dad is one of those guys that likes to set things on fire when he's drunk, hence the bonfire. So my dad is just grabbing random ass things and throwing them into the bonfire.
He also at one point grabbed a gas tin of diesel and throws it into the bonfire.
Yep, it doesn't explode because it's diesel, but he was just I literally, because I'm a shit starter and a giggler when I say shit starter, I don't mean I pick fights. I mean I stir the pot.
Yeah.
Whenever I get drunk. I was like, ooh, are you gonna take that? I'm one of those kind of guys.
Yeah.
So drunk Caleb, who likes to giggle, sees that Jacob is slowly losing consciousness. Tristan needs to pee every 5 seconds, and Dad wants to set things on fire.
So the funniest thing about Tristan having to pee, now we're getting to the part where after I've blacked out, I don't remember any of this. There's a video on my phone. I'm recording Caleb. He's explaining how he broke his leg ice skating. As he's doing this is maybe only a 45 second video. 5 seconds in, I pan over to Tristan. Luckily, his back is turned, so you can't see anything, but I just pan over, I'm like, yo, Tristan's pissing! While Caleb's trying to drunkenly explain how he broke his leg. Then again, at the end of the video, I'm just like, yo, Tristan's pissing!
Because he was pissing that entire 3 minutes. It was just a constant stream.
Yeah.
You gotta go, man.
So,
At one point, can I tell them about what you said to my dad?
oh, how I threatened to suck his dick? I really hope none of my family is watching this episode. I don't think any of them know about it, but...
Okay, but why?
So my
I was
dad,
blacked out. I don't know. So, Caleb, yeah, you're gonna have to explain this.
So my dad, once again, likes to set things on fire, and I'm stirring the pot. So I looked over, and on Jake's chair is his shirt. And I was like, hey, Dad, wouldn't it be funny if you took Jake's shirt and threw it in the bonfire? And my dad makes a couple aggressive, joking steps at Jake to take his shirt and throw it in the bonfire. And Jake lurches forward out of the chair. He's like, stay away from my shirt or I will suck your cock. And my dad yells, what the fuck? Spins around a couple of times, backing away from Jake, almost falls over his own boots. Tristan is dying laughing while he's pissing again over in the corner.
I should have thrown you in the fire for that. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like I don't even remember that. Like I wake up the next morning, Caleb explains like, yeah, you threatened to suck my dad's dick. I'm like, I threatened to suck Trey's dick? What?
Did you even see my dad after this? Because it was the next morning.
I didn't see him until the wedding happened.
The wedding.
Oh my god.
Spooked.
But
He
anyway,
was just spooked.
so I guess while I'm still blacked out, I'm walking back over to the trailer, and I guess I fall down a couple of times too. Like I'm crying walking back to the trailer, and I'm just falling on the ground, rolling around in the grass. I come to as I'm on the porch, right? I come to, I'm crying, I'm just saying, I want my car keys, I want to go home, and obviously, Caleb's mom stayed sober, so she's like, no, you can't go home, you have to stay the night here. And as I'm crying, I lean over the porch, as I'm seated, and I just... So now there's vomit all over my clothes. I black out again after throwing up. And I guess since they didn't want me sleeping in vomit clothes, Caleb's brother Tristan, or it was Caleb, one of them brought me clothes. And they were like, okay, you have to change. And I guess all I said was, don't look at my dick.
Yep, you said that to Tristan.
But Tristan was like, yeah, we said we'd turn around while you changed, but if you fell down, we would have to change you. So I guess I was able to stay upright while changing the whole time, which thank God, because drunk me really didn't want anyone to see my dick. We're going back. They bring me inside to the empty bedroom, and while I'm still blacked out, I'm like, hang on. And then I go on my watch and I'm just like, set an alarm for 8 a.m. because I knew I had to be up. So at least drunk, blacked out Jacob was kind enough to set an alarm for very hungover Jacob the next morning to get up and get prepared for the wedding. But, oh my God, I never want to drink that heavily again, especially to catch up. Like, I should have just started with 1 shot and 1 drink and called it good for a little bit. Not immediately 2 shots down, 2 drinks down, another shot, another drink, slam 2 drinks, take those down, take another shot, blackout, record Tristan pissing.
This is your rendition of that one video on YouTube. It's like, oh, what is it? It's like a blackout, greened out, which I didn't know you could do. Whiteout.
Literally, I don't even know why he tried to catch up. Maybe it's because he already saw the pile of cans that was forming.
Yeah, no, I was like, okay, I want to be on the same level that these guys are immediately, especially because work that night was just super fucking stressful.
Yeah,
so I'm like, I need to let loose.
You bitched a lot about how much you hated your fucking job.
Well, okay, it was that night specifically. I loved my job at the gas station. I wound up becoming the deli manager there, but it's just that night specifically tested me.
Okay. Oh my God. Okay. So I'll let you guys choose. Do you want to hear about the very first time that I ever got drunk, and to this day don't know if I kissed a girl, or my first public intoxication where I threw up outside an Applebee's.
Okay, public intoxication sounds amazing.
There's gotta be public intoxication for me.
Okay. So it was after a show. Because the tradition usually after a show when I was in college, because I was a theater kid, so after a show in college we would go to Applebee's and all have dinner.
I was at a couple of those.
Yeah, I knew you were. And obviously like I'm 21 and so I could drink. Mm-hmm. And this was back when Applebee's still had like their $1 drink menu. Like they don't do that anymore. They haven't done that I think since COVID.
Yeah, I was about to say I blame COVID for a lot of restaurant things going downhill.
I missed those so much. And they had it was like vodka cranberry night or something like that. And they were really good. And I had like a little too much. And obviously there was somebody there to drive, of course, and it was my my college boyfriend at the time. And it's a whole other story
fuck
in
that
itself.
guy. He's a dick.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, no, it's just bad. Anyway, so we all had some drinks and stuff, and we had it was also karaoke night that night too.
Oh.
So okay, no. It actually wasn't bad. I did really well in karaoke. It was great. And then we had some more drinks. I downed the rest of my drink, and then it was time to go. And I was like, yeah, maybe it's time to go. It's a little warm in here in the Applebee's, and it was really cool outside. So I was like, okay, let's go stand outside and just kind of chill out or whatever. And I'm feeling okay. I mean, obviously I'm drunk, but I can still walk straight. My vision's not super blurry or anything like that. So I'm like, okay, everything's fine. Everything's good. So I walk out. I take a couple feet outside the door. And then I freeze because the cool air hits me and I'm like, something's not right. And I look up and everyone is still walking ahead of me. And then my ex turns around and he's like, you all right? And I said, babe, something's wrong. And then I stand there for a second and then I feel it come on. And I run over to the bushes and I threw up right underneath a window where an old couple had just sat down for dinner.
Oh no!
Felt terrible.
I'm embarrassed for you.
Yeah, it was not good. They were literally looking at their menus, and I just threw up right underneath the window.
I don't know what's worse though, that or threatening to suck your best friend's dad's dick. I mean,
no, I mean that's pretty bad. But the funnier part too was
funnier? It gets funnier?
No, I mean it is funny, but I was standing up while I did this too. So I'm standing full whatever. I'm up straight and I'm just my head's just leaned over and I just threw up. And I was like, I need to get out of view of these old people. So I get down on the ground and I'm just still not feeling great. And then who comes over to hold my hair? Not my ex, I can tell you that much, because he's a piece of shit. Just another buddy of mine. But what made it so much worse is we had gone to Subway before, maybe an hour or so before, because we were just eating appetizers at Applebee's or something.
Yeah.
And I had gotten a pizza sub. So that had marinara sauce, which is a little spicy. Yeah. And that stuff was in my nose and it hurt.
Oh.
I threw up the Subway sandwich and it was awful. It was the worst feeling I had ever felt in my life. But weirdly enough, as soon as I was done, I was like, I feel better. And then my friend ran inside and talked to the hostess and they're like, hey, can you spare a to-go cup for some water? My friend threw up outside. So he comes back with some water for me. And I was like, thanks, man. And we just went on with the rest of the night. I was fine after that.
Hell yeah.
Felt terrible for this old couple.
Oh, I can imagine.
They probably did not want to eat after that. They may have just left right after. And I hope I didn't ruin their dinner, but I probably did.
Yikes. Well, I hate to say it, but we're like 10 minutes over time right now.
Oh
No.
Yeah, I feel like each of us talked about our own individual stuff, though, that we could just count that as straight up nerd outs. So I think we're good. Either of y'all have anything left to say before we end the episode? Anything you want to plug since you're a guest today, Izzy?
My YouTube has been inactive since I was like 17, so
reactivate.
No, I need to. I really do. I tried to rebrand it like a year ago, and then I haven't done anything with it because I just don't have the equipment. So, so not much. Follow me on Instagram, I guess. I don't know.
What's that?
At is Instagram _ with the Z. It's really dumb, but I like it.
Hell yeah. Caleb, anything else
flash
you
it
want
on
to say?
screen.
Yeah. No, I'm not editing. Fuck you. I'll put it in the description of the YouTube version. So if you're if you're listening to the audio version, you gotta go over to the video version now, bitch.
Kids, if this podcast teaches you anything, drink in moderation.
Please, for the love of God. You don't want to threaten to suck your best friend's dad's dick to his face.
Like serious, Caleb, for a second, please. For the love of God.
Drink responsibly.
Yeah, probably, definitely drink responsibly.
If I was a terrible friend, Jake might have hurt himself. Please don't do that to yourself.
Yeah. Always have a designated driver too. Always have a sober friend.
Unless you're staying the night at the person's house, in which case, don't drive. Just fall asleep.
Just lock your keys away somewhere.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.